Stagleap Provincial Park, Kootenay Pass, or Salmo Creston Highway, as some like to call it. Take you for a little adventure down here. Found a pretty mucky spot to get myself into, but yeah, that's all part of the adventure. If you decide to spend a little bit of time up here, I do recommend you bring bug spray. Nice thing about this is if it's a hot day down in the valley, say around 2,000 feet above sea level, this being at 5,300 feet, 5,300, it's a bit cooler. Usually about 7 degrees cooler than the valley below. That being said, it's quite beautiful up here. A lot of people stop and enjoy it. Take you for a little walk down the trail here. But it's always good to feed the mosquitoes, help them with their brood. They're really not that bad. The midge flies are worse. You get quite a bit of clouds of them, particularly by the restroom areas of houses. I guess they kind of know where people congregate. It's quite beautiful up here. And an easy path to get to for those who aren't as mobile as others. This is a wheelchair path as well. It goes all the way around the lake. Some very old dead stands in here. Now here's an old tree. I'm just going to flip the camera up to give you a little bit of an idea, but trees don't grow very fast at these altitudes. The winter, for one, is very harsh on them, and the growth rate is probably about half. I mean, I'm no expert, but they're about half of what trees at lower altitudes. Give you a little idea. It's quite a big tree, especially for this altitude to still be alive. Could be 500 something years old, hard to say. I'd imagine around there. Ministry of Highway buildings over on the other side. See, they're tearing one down over there. And we're actually not too far away from the American border. Just on the back sides of these mountains, actually. Not too far away. But it is a safe place to bring your children in that. Yes, there is wildlife, but you only usually will see it on the backside of the lake, just where we were. Come down to get some water to drink. But for the most part, you're not going to have many encounters. The highway usually scares them away. And it really doesn't take long, even at I wouldn't say I walk at a brisk pace, but at that. It doesn't take long to get around this lake. Here to do the whole thing, I'd say to be about 10 to 12 minutes. So it's really not that big. Very typical sized mountain lake for British Columbia. You can see we were over there, that little island piece. I'll just zoom in for you. There's picnic tables over on the other side as well. Most people never go too far in here. They just stay around along by the highway. Really is a shame, there's a lot to see. There are upper paths, trails. Not as well maintained as this main trail, but for those who feel a little more adventurous, I recommend you take them. You get some better views of the valleys. Be coming up shortly onto the Stagleap cabin. It's usually locked. Usually to keep people from vandalizing it. It's a shame, but this is the day and age we live in now. A lot of people don't have respect for other people's property. Again, the highway. There's a nice trail right here. Goes up. If you're a mountain biker, actually, you know, some of these trails back in here would be pretty good for you. Offering all kinds of levels of riding adventures. So here's the cabin. Has some information on the inside. Oh, it might actually be open. Have a look inside here. See what's going on. No camping. Okay, so that answers that question. There's a payphone up here. So you can see again, people just have to destroy stuff. They can't seem to keep their hands off. If you're ever up here in the winter time, you get stuck, the highway's closed, you get snowed in. There's a nice little wood stove here, so you can at least keep you and your family warm. Some nice information. And there are grizzly bears up here. I've only ever seen a handful in the 30 years I've been out here, so they don't really hang around with people too much. You get all the little charts of all the little trails and that. All in all, a good place. Good adventure. Thanks for joining me, Quad BC.